Hey, what's going on, you guys? Finally, a Marvel Legends video. It's felt so long, even though like it is my biggest collection. Um, but I finally saw one today that I like really wanted. I mean, there are ones that I've seen that I do want, but like I try to kind of base on what I get on the idea of how much I want it, and if I want something more than others, then I'll probably get that. If this wasn't here, I might have actually gotten something else, but we are reviewing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, although that's kind of changed. I think the next film is called Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, so it's not Across Spider-Verse Part 2. Got some pictures of the stylized style of the art of Miles Gwen in 2099 over here. This figure, as says, is inspired by Into the Spider-Verse, the Marvel Legends series. This is Peter B. Parker Spider-Man. On the back, there is no bio, unfortunately, so I won't have anything to read to you. But here are some of the other figures that you can get. Real quick side note: I do plan on getting the Spot because it's just another Spider-Man villain for me. I might get this version of Spider-Punk because there is some differences to him, not just by design, but he's British from this universe. So I can have an American Spider-Punk, which I actually have next to me over here, and a British Spider-Punk. So that could be really cool. Unless maybe he is the same. I don't know. But he's being voiced by a British actor. And then Jessica Drew is a maybe. Miles, probably will get Miles. I might not get 2099 or Gwen, though. Mainly because 2099, his suit isn't all that different from his comic counterpart. So, and I already have a Gwen. But Miles at least has a different design, so I could argue for his his variant and stuff like that. So kind of upset that they didn't get an unmasked Peter B. Parker head though. So here he is. Here is Peter B. Parker. Now on a side note, some might ask, why didn't you get the first one? Primarily because he didn't come with a fully masked head. I also wanted more of the suit, but now you could argue, well, you still don't get all the suit, and that's true. But I also don't feel like waiting at this point. I really just wanted the mask, and if he at least looks somewhat like Spider-Man, that'll be fine by me. So I know some people also ask, well, why isn't this just kind of like a normal Spider-Man, if you will? Yes, but no, it's still like a variant of him. He's kind of different. He's an older Spider-Man, and he'll be a dad in the upcoming movies. So there's some differences there. And yeah. So here we're taking a look at them. They do a nice job of the stylized look. I know on the camera it might look a little weird for you guys. If I turn off the light, will that do any favors? No, for some reason this red has a glow. I don't know why. Maybe I need to get a background or something like this. This is a instruction manual. No, that just makes it worse. It didn't do it for Ironhide, did it? Not really. Wow, that's kind of weird. Okay. Oh, well. All right. But, yeah. Because it did it for the Power Ranger figure that I did. But, yeah, I just wanted to get this figure. It was one of the only figures I was actually interested in getting when this came out. I do hope that they make the Spider-Man India from this. That they're going... from this movie that they're going to have. I think that'll be really fun. And any other Spider-Man variants that they might do, because I know there's some, like there's a Spectacular Spider-Man is in this movie. I know Spider-Man Unlimited is in this movie. I would love to get figures of those because that'd be really cool. But we shall see. So did a nice job of the styling. I mean, it is kind of like a basic Spider-Man outfit. You even got the little red spider on the back there. So nice job with that. And of course, you got the sweatpants. They look like sweatpants, and then on the bottom you got feet. There's really not much to him. He does come with another pair of hands, which of course are thwipping hands, which will probably be the. And they both have both sets of hands have the same set of articulation, but this will probably be the hands that I'll probably use for the most part. I don't know if I'll use both, but at least have both on him. So This next part's a bit tricky. His articulation. For some reason, his legs are really stiff. I've kind of worked them a bit, so they're not as bad. But just so you guys know, it may just be mine. You can look up that much. You can look down that much. You can look side to side. And you can get him doing some tilt. His arms go out that far. They do a full 360. He's got a bicep swivel, pinless, double jointed elbows. You got a swivel at the wrist, and it goes in and out. He's got a diaphragm joint that allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back, and it can tilt side to side and swivel. He's got, I guess, a torso joint that allows him to bend forward that much, back that much, and it does kind of swivel. I do believe it also goes side to side. Yes, it does. It does kind of give a gap, though, like in the front. It kind of gives a gap, but I don't really care. His legs can kick out that far, kick back, kick to the side out that far. He does have a upper thigh joint. His knee joints are the tight joints, so there you go. That's the leg that's better right now. And in case you're wondering, this other leg here with the stress mark, you can actually bend this forward a little bit for some reason, and it went under this, so that's what happened. I didn't notice it right away. So he also's got a, I guess you would call, lower leg swivel. It technically would be a boot swivel if it had a boot on. So he can go that far down, it can go that far up, and he's got ankle pivot. Keep in mind, because due to the stylized design, that some of these joints are kind of skinny and thin. So you may want to be a little careful when articulating this, especially if it does have tight joints like mine. So, but see, can I get you to stand? There you go. No, that's not gonna. Come on, stand, please. I have a feeling you're gonna fall. Okay, so now time for comparison. So I guess we'll do some random ones here real quick before we get into the Marvel Legend ones. I won't do a DC one today. Actually, I could. Never mind. We'll do the Transformers Studio Series Ironhide, which obviously these scale at 5-inch, so he's going to be shorter. And I guess just for a little bit more of a scale comparison, this is more of a 7-inch kind of character. Here is DC McFarlane Multiverse Red Hood. I know it's kind of unfortunate. He's kind of been resulted as like the comparison guy because I don't have the rest of the Outlaws team. Bizarro's out. I just haven't seen him. And Artemis, they haven't made yet. So we'll get there when we get there. We'll do some Star Wars comparisons here. Here he is next to the AT-ACT Trooper. And here he is next to Commander Cody. That's off to the side here. Let me bring it over. There you go. So if you want some of that crossover. But of course, we must show him off next to other Marvel characters. Here he is next to Namor. He's kind of pushed forward, so if he looks a little off, that's why. Here he is, of course, next to my favorite Marvel hero, Winter Soldier. Here he is next to Daredevil. Oh, well. Apparently, Daredevil wins that fight. I don't know. Just with him standing there, he fell. Man, these joints do not want to work with me. Okay, there we go. Now, let's do some Spider-Man comparisons. So, here is my main comic books. I mean, technically, it's from the cartoon from the 90s, but this is my main Spider-Man that goes with the Avengers. So, here he is next to them. Obviously, fairly similar in design. I mean, the biggest difference, honestly, is the coloring style and the size of the spiders on both of them. So there he is with him. Where's you standing now? Okay. And then here he is next to Superior Octopus, or Doc Ock as a hero, if you will. So there's that. And then finally, let's compare him next to Spider-Punk, the Conqueror. Oh, there's a there's a claw in the way. It's kind of funny, but yeah. So this is there you go. There's the two. There's some of the Spider-Man. Of course, I could get out like a whole bunch of other Spider-Man figures, and maybe when I get like the next Spider-Man figure from this, or just my next Spider-Man figure in general, I will bring out some of the movie ones and I'll put them next to this one through that review. So, but all of my Star Wars figures are packed right now because I'm going to move next month. So this is why you have Hunter's here too, but that's why you only have like a select Star Wars few. So yeah, I like this figure. I've always wanted like a Peter B. Parker representation on my shelf because he is different. And it's just another great Spider-Man figure to have. He doesn't have butterfly joints, which would probably be the only complaint I have. That and the tight joints, but that's more of like a thing that just happens, rather than the company's fault sometimes. But yeah, so I don't know what pose I'm going to do with him when I finally get them on display again, which will be for a while. But I guess that'll work for the thumbnail pose, which you'll see before I say that. So in this video, it's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, I know this is a much simpler video. There's not really much to the figure, but it is nice to finally do a Marvel Legends review. This is the first Marvel Legends review of... Is it the first Marvel Legends review of 2023? I believe so. I do believe so. Because the last review was Namor. Can you believe it's been that long? With the way the camera's portraying him, he almost looks like he's got the red and black suit. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy that been that long since the Marvel Legends review. And part of it is not even the Star Wars effect. It's mostly just, like I said, I pick and choose, and sometimes things that I want aren't always there. And I try to do things that like I absolutely want. Of course, there are some ones that it's like I do want them, but it's not as much as like, say, this character or Namor or Winter Soldier or something like that. So, and the Guardians, I have seen the Guardians wave out and about. I won't get every character, but I definitely will get Kraglin, Nebula, Star-Lord, and I don't know. I'm kind of unsure about getting the Adam Warlock figure because I've seen some reviews and his face doesn't look that great. And some of the other things are, and one of the problems with the all box packaging, I don't really care that they're doing all box, but one of my like least favorite parts is the factor of you're not getting to see how the figure looks. Now, I know Star Wars went to all box and it's going back to how it was. I don't think Marvel Legends is going to. I don't really care either way, but it is kind of like worrying that like you can't tell how well your figure looks or if there's anything damaged or anything like that. So that's my only concern with those, but otherwise I'm fine. So we'll have to see. I'm going to watch some more reviews of the Adam Warlock figure before I decide if I'll get that one or not. But I know that's not going to be the only wave of Guardians of the Galaxy figures because they don't have all the characters yet. They haven't made a Gamora or and of course the main villain, Beyonder. They haven't made him yet, and and then Star Fox is also apparently in this as well, played by Stallone. So yeah, so it should be fun. Other than that, I know like Bucky Cap was announced a while ago. I don't know when that's coming out, but I do plan on getting him. I plan to do a Captain America display, so hopefully you will see the live action version of John Walker's Captain America. The reason why I will get that one is because it's a little bit more unique because his Captain America costume was just Captain America's costume. It just looked the same. So at least a little bit of distinctive difference, and I want to do kind of a Captain America display with the classic Captain America that I have. So, but yeah, I know that was a bit of rambling towards the end, but thought I would do that. And finally, I might put a poll out. I know we're kind of a small community, but maybe I'll just do comic reviews as well because I've got a lot of comics. Even just picked up one today. So, but I will, if you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.